Allegiant Stadium, Las Vegas, Nevada, USA, for the undisputed super middleweight championship of the world.
If I take Floyd Mayweather in his absolute prime, and I take Manny Pacquiao in his absolute prime,
Floyd Mayweather.
Floyd still beats him.
Floyd beat everybody.
You don't believe there's a guy at 140, 147 in the history of boxing that could have beat Floyd in his prime?
It'd be tough. Floyd, man, that boy, man, that's the GOAT, man.
Hold me back. Hold me back.
In boxing, rumors travel faster than jabs, but this one hit like a left hook. Is Floyd Mayweather training Terence Crawford to fight Canelo Alvarez? It started with whispers. Crawford was spotted near Mayweather's gym.
In the couples, but
He said,
Eddie want to go again.
He said, I let him be.
No official announcement, no confirmation, but just enough smoke to get fans leaning in. Some say it's nothing. Others think it could be the biggest tactical alliance since Freddie Roach met Manny Pacquiao. Because let's face it, if anyone knows how to beat Canelo Alvarez, it's Floyd Mayweather. And if anyone has the talent to follow that blueprint, it's Terence "Bud" Crawford.
Hey!
The question caught fire for a reason. Mayweather is the only fighter to beat Canelo decisively. Crawford is coming off a flawless performance against Errol Spence. Put those two minds together, and suddenly the impossible starts to feel possible. And while neither side has officially confirmed the partnership, that hasn't stopped the speculation. Trainers, analysts, even former fighters have chimed in with theories. Could this be a one-off consultation? A few strategy sessions behind closed doors? Or is this just good old-fashioned fan fiction?
Now remaining in the fight, Canelo with the right hand over top. Right hand by Canelo.
Floyd Money Mayweather.
Of the welterweights he's faced, all 7 of them. So,
Right, Errol Spence on inline skates, and the referee has intervened. Mamma mia! Terence Bud.
Floyd Mayweather and Terence Crawford have never shared a corner, but they've shared respect. For years, Mayweather has acknowledged Crawford as one of the most skilled fighters in the world. He's praised Crawford's timing, ring IQ, and ability to switch stances mid-fight, a rare skill, even at the elite level. And Crawford? He's never been shy about naming Mayweather as one of the fighters he studied coming up. Their styles aren't identical, but the influence is obvious. Patience, precision, control. They don't talk often, they don't post photos together, but there's a quiet understanding between the two, a recognition of greatness.
I think Terence Crawford right now in the sport of boxing is the pound for pound best fighter in the sport of boxing right now.
Their relationship has always been distant, but respectful. When asked in interviews, Crawford often refers to Mayweather as a genius in the ring. Someone whose blueprint helped shape his own calm, calculated approach. And Mayweather? While he's known to jab at other stars for attention, he's kept it classy with Bud. That's what makes this rumor feel possible. They're not friends in the public eye, but there's no bad blood. No ego war, just two high-level tacticians who may finally see value in teaming up for one purpose, beating Canelo Alvarez. It's rare in boxing to see two dominant minds quietly orbiting the same goal. But Crawford's admiration for Mayweather's style and Mayweather's respect for Crawford's skill has always been there. Whether that turns into training collaboration or not, the groundwork is already in place. Terence Crawford is a proud fighter. He's built his legacy largely in isolation, training in Omaha, Nebraska, far from the media circus and celebrity gyms. He's never needed a big-name coach to get results, and he's never chased validation from boxing's power circles. So why would a self-made fighter like Crawford consider outside help? Why now? Because this fight against Canelo Alvarez is different. This isn't about defending a belt, it's about crossing into legend territory. And even for a generational talent like Crawford, preparing for a fighter like Canelo means stepping into unknown waters. He'll be moving up in weight, facing more power, a slower pace, a different rhythm, a different kind of danger. And who's the one man who's already solved that puzzle? Floyd Mayweather.
Still connect, but he's able to land them, he's able to deflect them off.
That was a hard body shot in the right hand. Chris Mannix giving 2 rounds so far to Callum Smith.
A lot of Mexican fighters do that.
It's not just that Floyd beat Canelo, it's how he did it. Crawford's camp may be elite, but even they know when to pull wisdom from outside the room. And if there's one voice that wouldn't threaten Crawford's identity, it's Floyd's. A fellow tactician, a fighter who understands control over chaos, someone who's walked into high-stakes fights knowing the world wanted him to lose. Crawford wouldn't bring Mayweather in to reinvent him. He'd bring him in to sharpen the edges, fill the gaps, spot the blind spots. Even a 10-minute phone call with Floyd could contain fight-defining gems. Because at this level, you don't need a full training camp. You just need the right whisper at the right time.
Multi-weight champion Terence Crawford is to boxing what a grandmaster is to chess. Crawford knows each and every line of attack that any given opponent can throw at him, and more importantly, how to refute it.
Terence Crawford doesn't fight like Floyd Mayweather, but in a matchup against Canelo Alvarez, he might want to. Crawford is a natural switch hitter. He can box orthodox or southpaw with equal confidence. He's patient, calm, and surgical with his offense. What separates him from most fighters is how he downloads his opponents in real time, taking the first round or two to read, then flipping the switch with laser precision. It's not flashy, it's not wild, it's methodical, and it's eerily similar to how Mayweather approached big fights. That's why the idea of Floyd advising Crawford, even unofficially, makes sense. Because when it comes to beating Canelo, it's not just about talent. It's about timing, range control, and psychological warfare. 3 things Crawford already excels at, and Mayweather perfected.
Again, nobody's yet. There's a nice combination. Straight right hand lands by Canelo. Doing his best to do just that, but again, especially in the hands. Oh, and a clubbing left hand and a jab from Canelo. And Mayweather smiles as he goes to work on the body. So left hook upstairs.
Canelo's biggest weapon isn't just power, it's pressure and body control. He walks opponents down, cuts off the ring, and makes them second-guess their timing. But that's where Crawford, with a Mayweather-inspired approach, could flip the narrative. By staying off the ropes, countering with sharp jabs, and never letting Canelo set his feet, Crawford could do exactly what Floyd did, disrupt rhythm and make Canelo chase air. But here's the difference. Crawford is meaner. He's more willing to finish a hurt opponent than Floyd was, and that killer instinct, combined with tactical discipline, could make this matchup more dangerous for Canelo than people think.
In light heavyweight, Derek James, Floyd Mayweather, both in attendance here tonight.
He started off really good with the jab. Double, triple jab and body.
Mayweather's blueprint still works. Crawford has the tools to follow it, and maybe even upgrade it. Which begs the real question, is Floyd quietly helping build the strategy, or just watching from afar? Floyd Mayweather didn't just beat Canelo Alvarez, he solved him. Back in 2013, Canelo was young, undefeated, and rising fast. Many believed his power and size would overwhelm the 36-year-old Mayweather. Instead, Floyd put on a masterclass, a lesson in control, distance, and discipline. He didn't run, he didn't brawl, he dissected. It wasn't just defense, it was timing. Mayweather made Canelo miss, then made him pay, over and over. Every time Canelo loaded up, Floyd was gone. Every time Canelo hesitated, Floyd touched him with sharp scoring shots. By the time the final bell rang, Canelo wasn't broken, but he was beaten, clear, decisive, and completely neutralized.
Getting his share of body shots. USA champ begins, but it immediately gets drowned out by the boos of the Mexican.
That fight became a template, not just for how to beat Canelo, but for how to fight smart against a pressure-based power puncher. Few have been able to follow it since. But if anyone could recreate it today, it's Terence Crawford. Floyd's success came from several key principles: Don't get caught on the ropes. Win the footwork battle. Make your opponent reset constantly. And last but not least, prioritize accuracy over volume. Crawford already checks many of those boxes. What Mayweather could offer, even informally, is nuance. The little things that don't show up in the stats. The exact angles to pivot when Canelo feints. The rhythm changes needed to throw off his counterpunching. The patience to win moments, not just rounds.
Not shocking that's not in the same department. Right in front of each other for the most part.
Because they're both confident in their...
Floyd Mayweather was using his right hand now he'll use the touch jab to land the right hand. In fact, he jabbed in two different places to try and land the right hand. That's why he is something of a boxing savant. He does things that nobody else does.
Mayweather's blueprint isn't outdated. Canelo is older, wiser, and more dangerous now. But the tools that beat him once could beat him again. The question is, will those tools stay locked in Mayweather's memory or get passed to Crawford before fight night? So, is Floyd Mayweather actually training Terence Crawford? As of now, there's still no confirmed report that Mayweather is officially part of Crawford's camp. No press release, no team statement, no videos showing Floyd holding mitts for Bud. But that hasn't stopped the speculation, and for good reason. In recent months, Crawford has been spotted in Las Vegas multiple times. He's visited Mayweather's gym before, even if it wasn't during a formal camp. The two have been seen in the same circles. Fight nights, events, even backstage conversations. And while those interactions were brief, they were enough to fuel rumors that something more could be happening behind the scenes. Adding to the buzz, Mayweather's silence. He's had no issue calling out fighters publicly in the past, but with Crawford, he's been quiet, respectful even. That alone has made fans wonder, is Floyd offering private advice, tactical breakdowns, a quiet consultation? Some believe it's more of a mentorship than a training role. No pads, no cameras, just closed-door strategy. A few hours of game planning from the one man who's already beaten Canelo. And if that's the case, Crawford's team isn't talking. Others believe it's just fan fiction, wishful thinking fueled by proximity, not reality. But in boxing, proximity matters. Because even a few words from someone like Mayweather can shift a fighter's mindset. And if Crawford's even borrowing the blueprint, that influence counts. So, is Floyd officially training Crawford? Number not publicly, but unofficially, silently, strategically? That's where things get interesting. Even if Floyd Mayweather isn't officially in Terence Crawford's camp, fans can't help but wonder, what if he was? What would Floyd actually bring to the table? First, there's the obvious. Ring IQ. Mayweather's mind for boxing is unmatched. He sees angles before they happen, predicts patterns, and exploits hesitation better than anyone in history. He's not just a defensive genius, he's a tactician. If Crawford is the general, Floyd could be the war room. Then there's the mental edge. Floyd's biggest wins didn't come from brute force. They came from psychological control, slowing the tempo, freezing opponents with feints, and making them question every move. In a fight against Canelo, that control matters. Mayweather has felt Canelo's power. He's managed Canelo's pressure. That first-hand knowledge is invaluable.
That's how star work. You know how to work.
Floyd could also help Crawford fine-tune the small stuff, the half-step backward to avoid a counter, the exact angle to turn after slipping a jab, the timing of a check hook that catches Canelo mid-pivot. Even outside the ring, Mayweather's influence would matter. Preparing for a mega fight with someone like Canelo isn't just about skills, it's about managing the moment, the pressure, the cameras, the expectations. Mayweather's been there, Crawford hasn't. And lastly, there's body language. Mayweather could coach Crawford on what not to show, how to hide fatigue, mask frustration, and carry control in the ring even when you're not landing clean.
When you bop, me, bop, right hand, okay? Stiff arm and drop your right hand, okay?
clips of Mayweather corner footage showing him giving calm, tactical advice. Cut to Crawford's corner in past fights, showing how he responds to mid-round adjustments. Crawford doesn't need a complete overhaul. He's already one of the best. But a whisper from Mayweather could make him untouchable. Terence Crawford wasn't supposed to become a star. No Olympic hype. No viral knockouts in his early career. No celebrity endorsements. Just a quiet kid from Omaha with an ice-cold stare and a mean streak in the ring. He wasn't fed easy fights. He earned every inch, every payday, every headline. That's what makes this possible showdown with Canelo Alvarez feel so full circle. Because for Crawford, it's not just about adding a name to the resume. It's about proving that all the road work, all the discipline, and all the years in the shadows were leading to this. And stylistically, he may be more ready than most realize.
Never before defeated. Obviously never knocked out.
Uppercut sends him back. Another left hand and a knock. Firing at Crawford for the moment. There's the overhand right and another combination. Beautiful work by Crawford. Errol Spence on inline skates. And the referee.
Crawford didn't start his career as a defensive genius. He became one. He didn't always fight switch stance. He developed it as a weapon. He didn't coast on athleticism, he crafted layers of strategy. That adaptability is exactly why he might be the right man to solve Canelo. Because unlike most opponents, Crawford doesn't come in with just a plan A. He carries plan B, C, and D in his back pocket and deploys them with near-perfect timing. This isn't a brawler hoping to land one lucky shot. It's a technician with venom, and if he's adding even a drop of Mayweather's insight into his process, that's not just dangerous, that's a nightmare.
If I do anything different.
Look at that. Look at that. That's what you got to do right there.
There's a left uppercut from Crawford. He steps right into that kitchen.
He's smelling it now. He's orthodox now. He smells the knockout.
And now, as a righty, Crawford comes in. There's a three.
This version of Terence Crawford, calm, cruel, and complete, wasn't built overnight. He was forged over 15 years of silence, sweat, and strategy. Now he's one fight away from immortality, and maybe, just maybe, Floyd helped finish the mold. It's the question everyone's asking. Can Terence Crawford actually beat Canelo Alvarez? On paper, it's one of the boldest challenges imaginable. Crawford has never fought at super middleweight. Canelo has built a kingdom there. He's beaten bigger, stronger men. He's dropped iron-chinned champions. And most importantly, he's adjusted over time. The slow, flat-footed fighter Floyd beat in 2013 isn't the same one stalking rings today. But Crawford? He's not just coming to survive, he's coming to solve. Crawford's main weapon isn't power, it's versatility. He changes stance mid-fight, switches rhythm, adapts to style. He doesn't just win fights, he dissects opponents round by round. Against Spence, he didn't just dominate, he shut down a top-tier pressure fighter with ease. The biggest asset might be his ability to make fighters uncomfortable without overcommitting. That's key against someone like Canelo, who thrives when opponents get brave, stand still, or get drawn into trades. If Crawford stays elusive, controls the center, and forces Canelo to chase, he has a path to victory. But there are risks. Canelo is a devastating body puncher. He's compact, powerful, and patient. If Crawford tries to potshot and move too much, he'll get cut off. If he tries to trade, he could get clipped. The size difference will be real. And if the fight goes the distance, Crawford will need to win rounds clearly to avoid a controversial decision.
Back into this fight after hitting the deck like the card dealer. Another M&M reference for Terence Crawford in the second round.
Yeah, that definitely woke him up. He's a lot more aggressive.
Crawford has the tools, but to beat Canelo, he'll need perfection, and maybe a little Mayweather-style mastery in his corner. If Crawford versus Canelo happens, and especially if Floyd Mayweather gets involved, it's more than a super fight. It's a generational crossover. Crawford represents the modern technician, sharp, disciplined, undisputed, but still hungry for that one defining win that cements him as a once-in-a-lifetime talent. Canelo is already there. He's the face of boxing. A 4-division champ with millions of fans and the kind of resume most fighters never touch. But beating Crawford would add another elite name to the wall. One from a lower weight, sure, but still one of the best of this era. And then there's Floyd. If he steps in, even in a small, strategic way, it sends a message that the legends aren't just watching from the sidelines. They're shaping the future, passing down game at the highest level.
Sensational move for the Showtime Network.
This isn't just pound-for-pound drama. It's a fight that brings fans back. Old heads, new fans, casual viewers. It's tactical warfare meets mainstream spectacle. If it happens, it could reignite boxing in a way few matchups can. And if Crawford wins, especially with a little help from Mayweather's blueprint, it could be the torch-passing moment boxing didn't know it needed. The internet didn't need confirmation. The rumor alone that Floyd Mayweather might be helping Terence Crawford prepare for Canelo Alvarez was enough to send boxing Twitter into a frenzy. Some fans are already calling it the ultimate chess move. Others think it's nothing more than smoke and shadow boxing. But either way, the speculation has exploded. YouTubers are dropping breakdowns. TikTok edits are going viral. Comment sections are split between hype and hesitation. For Crawford fans, the idea of Mayweather stepping in, even quietly, is thrilling. It signals legacy blending with legacy. A generational genius offering his blueprint to the only fighter many believe can actually follow it. For Canelo fans, it's a challenge, a subtle insult. As if Crawford's camp is admitting that the only way to beat Canelo is to borrow from the man who already did. Media outlets haven't confirmed anything concrete, but the coverage hasn't slowed. Every interview with Crawford now includes a variation of the same question. Are you working with Floyd? And so far, Bud's been coy, nodding, smiling, keeping the cards close to his chest. That silence is fueling the fire. In boxing, silence can speak volumes, especially when it comes from two of the most strategic minds the sport has ever seen. So, is Floyd Mayweather really training Terence Crawford for a fight with Canelo Alvarez? Probably not, officially. There's no footage, no contracts, no press release. But in boxing, official doesn't always mean influence doesn't exist. What we do know is this: Crawford has the style, the patience, and the fight IQ to execute the same kind of game plan Mayweather used to beat Canelo. And Mayweather? He's never been shy about passing on knowledge, especially to fighters who carry themselves with the kind of discipline he respects. If these two minds even briefly connect before fight night, that exchange could tip the scale. Not because Floyd's holding mitts or calling corner shots, but because strategy at this level is everything. One round, one adjustment, one trap set at the right moment.
Alvarez is without a doubt, pound for pound, one of the best boxers in the world just now. And just like any of the greatest fighters, their training, preparation, and routine.
Real or not, the speculation matters because it shows what's at stake. This isn't just Crawford trying to beat Canelo, it's Crawford trying to outthink him, out-slick him, out-Mayweather him. And if the man who wrote that playbook is whispering in the background, even for a moment, that's not hype. That's history in motion.